When Ethan married Julia, he believed he had found his forever person. She was bright, confident, and had a charm that could light up any room. For 7 years, their marriage seemed steady, not perfect, but filled with laughter, shared goals, and the occasional argument that always ended with forgiveness. Ethan thought they were a team. That illusion began to crack the moment Julia started working with a new realtor named Daniel to sell their second home. At first, Ethan thought nothing of it. Julia said Daniel was just helping her with the listing. She mentioned him in passing, praising his professionalism and quick results. But then, her phone started lighting up more often. She began taking calls outside and deleting texts soon after. Her laughter sounded forced, and her eyes started avoiding his. Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in years: suspicion. He tried to brush it off, convincing himself that he was just being insecure. But one night, after Julia had fallen asleep, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. Ethan told himself he wouldn't look. But curiosity and unease got the better of him. He opened the message. It read, "Can't stop thinking about last night. You're incredible." The sender's name, Daniel. Ethan's heart dropped. His hands shook as he scrolled up, seeing weeks of messages, secret meetings, flirtatious jokes, and even plans for a weekend away under the excuse of a real estate conference. It was all there, black and white. His wife wasn't just selling a house. She was selling out their marriage. He didn't confront her immediately. Instead, he decided to watch to make sure. For the next few days, Ethan acted normal, all while tracking her phone and checking her calendar. He even called Daniel's office, pretending to be a new client. When Daniel answered, Ethan recognized the voice. Smooth, confident, the same tone Julia once used when talking about someone she admired. The final straw came one Saturday afternoon. Julia said she had to meet Daniel at a showing. Ethan followed her quietly, parking a few streets away. He watched her walk into a fancy downtown condo, dressed far too well for just a showing. 2 hours later, she came out, laughing and brushing Daniel's arm like a schoolgirl. Ethan sat in his car, his stomach burning with betrayal. He didn't sleep that night. He replayed every memory, every conversation, trying to understand how their love had turned into this. The next morning, he decided he wouldn't yell, wouldn't cry. He would confront them both calmly and with proof. A week later, Julia mentioned she and Daniel were meeting again to finalize paperwork. Ethan nodded and said he'd join them since he was co-owner of the property. She hesitated but couldn't refuse. They met at a cafe. Daniel looked surprised when he saw Ethan, but Julia forced a smile, pretending everything was fine. Ethan sat down across from them, placing a folder on the table. "I thought we could review all the documents together," he said evenly. Julia's hands trembled slightly as she glanced at Daniel. "Sure," she murmured. Ethan opened the folder, not to reveal contracts, but screenshots of their messages. The color drained from Julia's face. Daniel shifted uncomfortably, looking for an escape. "You've been busy," Ethan said quietly. "Selling houses and destroying marriages." The cafe went silent. Julia whispered, "Ethan, please," but he cut her off. "No. You made your choices. I just wanted to see the people who thought they could lie to me and walk away clean." Daniel muttered an apology and tried to stand, but Ethan looked at him coldly. "You knew she was married," he said. "You saw the ring. That didn't stop you, did it?" Daniel couldn't meet his eyes. Julia was crying now, whispering excuses, saying it just happened, that she didn't mean to hurt him. But Ethan had heard enough. He stood up, pushed the folder toward them, and said, "I'll be sending those to your boss, Daniel. And Julia, I'll have the divorce papers ready next week." Then he walked out, leaving them in stunned silence. For the first time in months, he felt strangely calm. The days that followed were hard. Julia called him repeatedly, begging for forgiveness, claiming she'd been confused and lonely. Ethan didn't respond. He had given his trust once. It was not something he could give again. The house they'd built together now felt like a museum of broken promises. Months later, the divorce was finalized. Ethan had moved into a smaller place, quieter, simpler. One evening, he posted his story on Reddit under a thread about betrayal, not for sympathy but to release the weight he had carried. The post went viral. People related to his calmness, his strength in confrontation, and the dignity he held even when his heart had been shattered. Ethan realized then that closure didn't come from revenge or seeing someone else suffer. It came from standing tall when you had every reason to fall apart. Julia lost more than a husband that day. She lost someone who truly loved her. Ethan, however, found something new: peace.